KingsCountry.net. It's a TGIF edition of the Jim King of the Radio Show. We're cruising into Halloween weekend. Actually, Halloween's not till Monday. Lots of folks will be celebrating this weekend. Sure, all the bars will have costume contests and whatnot. Speaking of spooky stuff, Darius Rucker, the country star, believes the historic house he's renovating for his show, Rucker's Reno, is haunted. Here's why.
Oh, I slept in there a couple nights, and you could feel it. You could feel it, you know it. But of course it is. I mean, it was built in the 1700s. The first night I was laying there, and I turned the TV off, and the TV goes into the ceiling, you know, and I turned the TV off, and I was there for about 3 minutes, and I could feel it. It's an old house, and it starts creaking and everything, and I got up, put my shoes on, and ran back outside.
King's Country at KingsCountry.net. Jim King of the Radio behind the wheel. And we're going to take a quick time out, pay a couple of bills. We do that just once an hour for just a couple of moments. We don't have those endless commercial breaks like a lot of folks. We keep it light and easy breezy as we cruise into T.G. Shepherd coming up next. Slow burn. That might explain why I'm having one of those fabulous flashbacks. Bear with me.
King of the Road.
Backstage with the legendary T.G. Shepherd. Your music's definitely timeless and very recognizable with 21 number one hits, 14 consecutive number one hits in the 70s and 80s.
Well, you know, I have been very blessed in my life to be able to do what I love so much, make music. I was even more blessed to have put together a string of songs that has, you know, stood the test of time, and it still enables us to go out here and work every week. But yeah, that 14-song run was kind of an unusual thing to happen at that time. But everything we recorded went number one there for like 2 or 3 years.
King of the Road.
King's Country at KingsCountry.net. That's a group with a local connection here in Southeast Texas. Granger Smith, their lead guitarist, is Todd Howard on that song, Back Road song. He lives right here. Proud to say that he's a friend of mine. He can shred a guitar, that Todd Howard. We got some fantastic players from here in Southeast Texas. Too many to count. Speaking of fantastic players, just down the road, the World Series begins tonight in Houston as the Astros host the Philadelphia Phillies. Can't wait.
Baseball has always been there for me.
Want to watch the ball game? Baseball, World Series? What do you say?
Let's play baseball!
This guy would strike out and then run to third.
Am I out or safe?
Where are all your pals?
Playing baseball.
Put me in cold. I'm ready to play today.
It's baseball season, honey. I need to drink beer.
I know there's no crying in baseball.
You laughed when I got smacked in the face with a baseball bat.
Because it was funny.
Because the penalty for strike 3 is death.
There's no crying in baseball.
Put me in cold. I'm ready to play.
The Astros are going back to the World Series.
I've been sitting here staring at the clock on the wall.
Streaming from the studio, King of the Road Productions in Beaumont, Texas. We're bracing for a storm rolling in this afternoon. Had some heavy rains here at the Cat Castle on the west end of Beaumont late last night. I was up late working on the TV show, the Jim King of the TV show. It's part 2 of our mini-series, Rock and Renaissance mini-series. We're going to kick it off with Surf City All-Stars captured right here in Beaumont, Texas. Their lineup includes David Marks, if that name sounds familiar. He's one of the original Beach Boys. I looked up his net worth. He's worth $20 million. A measly $20 million. He's not even one of nearly the richest guy out there. We'll check that out. Then we'll cruise back to the Texas Renaissance Festival and conclude our coverage of that. The Texas Renaissance Festival runs every weekend now through November 27th. We'll have the Southeast Texas debut of Home Free's new video. They have a local guy in their lineup, Tim Faust. They're covering a song called Don't Laugh at Me. Remember, a big hit, number 2 hit for Mark Wills. Mark Wills joins them on that rendition. It's really cool stuff, very touching. And we'll have the Honky Tonk Texas Fabulous Flashback. We'll close it out with Paul Thorne in the Royal Spotlight, sponsored by Bradley's Collision Center. Here's a sample.
I know nothing about this woman. Everything I do is wrong. Sometimes it's hard to fathom just what pace she's on. I found a pretty little mood ring at the local 5 and down. It's gonna solve all my problems for $1.99. If it turns black, I should turn back. If it turns red, she likes what I say. If it turns blue, I should leave her alone. If it turns green, she wants me, I know. She wants me, I know.
Check out Paul Thorne closing out this weekend's Jim King of the TV show in the Royal Spotlight. I'll be posting segments soon at jimkingoftheroad.com so you can stream them on demand. And thanks for streaming King's Country. King's Country at kingscountry.net, cruising you through the lunch hour. That was Mark Chestnut. Hadn't confirmed it, but I think his mother passed recently. Norma. I used to run into her in stores and stuff around Southeast Texas. Such a personable lady. Rest in peace, Norma Chestnut. I don't have that confirmed yet, but when I do, I'll let you know. David Varnado called me yesterday to let me know that. But I do know that it's Halloween weekend straight ahead. Monday's officially Halloween, but we're celebrating all weekend long. That explains why I'm having a fabulous flashback, kind of creepy one.
King of the road.
Creepy, crawly king of the road.
Make sure you bring your Kleenex, because we are going to scare the snot out of you.
And maybe a little toilet paper.
And maybe a little toilet paper, too.
Oh, come in. Look deep into my crystal ball. Eye of newt, wing of bat, tongue of frog, tail of rat. From my hands you will find I will cast a spell that will leave you blind.
King of the road. Creepy, crawly king of the road.
King's Country, kingscountry.net, one of our biggest times of year for candy, needless to say, because Halloween coming up Monday. People will be celebrating all weekend. In fact, I've been doing a little celebrating already with Suzanne Simmons. She got some blow pop suckers. I've had my share of those. Hopefully I didn't rot my teeth out because I just spent a whole bunch of bucks on new crown. Not for my head, but for my mouth. Those things are expensive. $1,300, goodness gracious. Speaking of Halloween candy, John Pardee is a big fan of seasonal Halloween candy. Care to guess what it is?
Man, the candy corn's pretty good. And that's seasonal, so it only kind of pops out during Halloween.
King's Country, kingscountry.net. Welcome to a TGIF edition of The Thing, known as the Jim King of the radio show, not to be confused with the TV show. But that is a magnificent milestone this weekend. It's part 2 of our Rockin' Renaissance mini-series. It's going to air 3 times on Fox 4 and the CW. Check local listings. We're coming on right after the World Series tomorrow night on Fox 4. Could be on a little bit late, though, due to that World Series. Go Astros. Following local news on Fox 4. We're on the CW twice this weekend, and I'll be posting a segment soon at JimKingOfTheRoad.com and my trusty YouTube channel. Check it out. Part 2 of our Rockin' Renaissance episodes. We keep them coming with Colin Ray, one boy, one girl on King's Country. Good afternoon. King's Country at kingscountry.net. Another thing from our file, you just can't make this stuff up. A Colorado woman has been essentially trapped inside her home because the house is surrounded by, wait for it, thick tumbleweeds. Thankfully, her neighbors were able to help her leave her home. Here's Marlise Gross talking about the bizarre situation.
I looked out of my bathroom window and the tumbleweeds kept on jumping up on the window. I opened the front door and the whole tumbleweeds. I almost ran into the neighbor's fence because I didn't know where I was. You had to fight yourself through the tumbleweeds. I don't know what we're going to do, how we get rid of those tumbleweeds. It's horrible.